Okay, so in the interest of time, I think we'll get started. And for those who are joining late, then what we'll do is we'll send them a recording afterwards. So I would like to welcome you here. You're all very welcome. I'm Caroline Kennedy, and many thanks for joining us today. So today is the first in Block W's webinar series of AI Tuesdays. And Block W as an NGO has a focus on creating awareness of and increasing access to emerging technologies, with a particular focus on the gender gap that exists in tech. So today our focus with Helena is very much on AI and the skills you need to stay ahead and to compete in the market as it will be over the coming years. So for those of you in senior level cycle in school, I suppose the jobs you'll be doing in 10 years probably don't even exist yet. And so for today, we'll be looking at what are the skills you need to develop now to give you a fighting chance over the next 10 years to compete in the jobs market. And we're delighted to be joined with Helena. Helena was a graduate recruiter with many of the largest tech firms such as Google and Workday, and is now a much sought after career and confidence coach. So I'm going to hand over to Helena now. We'll keep this to 25 minutes. And as I said, we'll share the recording with everybody afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks for the intro. Hi, everyone. So yes, my name is Elaine, and I'm gonna run you through a few ideas and few elements about how to prepare for the next job market and the roles that might exist when you start working. So um, first, I'd like to take you into a little bit of a journey of technology. So what does technology look like? So let me tell you, technology looked like this when I was your age. This was super high tech. This was the equivalent of Spotify. This was my on-the-go music. This is how I listen to music. This cassette tape, this flat thing, it's very similar to a playlist, but I only had one and I could only listen to it in a specific order. I couldn't skip. So this was very, very high tech at the time. So technology looks very different as you go. So it will look totally different next year. It'll look totally different when you start studying at third level education, or if you start when you start working. So when I was your age, this was super high tech. Then when I started working, this was high tech. This was my phone, my mobile phone. So this little thing fits in the hand, much smaller than it is now, but much thicker, and the super tiny, tiny screen. And as you see, that very simple design, that was a super, super cool game. So it's called Snake. That's supposed to look like a snake, and that little ball was the food. So when the snake ate the food, that little ball, then the snake grew, and obviously the screen is so small that it would make it very hard to play because then the snake would eat his own tail and all of this. But this was super high tech, and it wasn't an app, and I couldn't add more game because there was no internet on the phone. So really, technology looked very different when I started working than what it is now as I'm a few years in my working career. When I first applied for my job, for my first job, I applied with a paper which I sent by post with a stamp. Um, and then several years later, within 5 years, everything had changed. Technology was way different. Internet was a thing, um, and mobile was much bigger. So the internet actually was a game changer. So I started working at Google, as Caroline said, and I was a recruiter. So I was screening the CVs, talking to candidates, doing interviews, and matching them for the right job for them. So I know a thing or two about career and the skills needed in the technology environment. But again, the big thing to remember is technology is changing and look very different now than it did before, and would look very different in times to come. So what does technology do well? So technology is very good at well, creating pictures. You'd see I've used a good few AI pictures. So the technology is very good at doing repetitive tasks, easy things, easy that are tasks that are easy to teach a computer to do. A computer will do it and will do it again and again very quickly and very easily, so that any mundane task will be done much quicker from a computer by a computer than a human, because computers don't procrastinate. So computer does that very, very well. Technology does that very well. Obviously, much quicker access to information. It's much easier for the distance to break the distance barrier. So it doesn't matter if you're down the road or if you're in Australia, you can have a conversation and see each other or send an email, and it's really only in seconds. Um, it simplifies tasks, it speeds things up, it increases productivity and efficiency. So anything that a human work does, if technology would do it much quicker. So AI or computer would do it much quicker. So like calculators and all of this obviously is much quicker than if I try to do it in my brain and in paper and writing it down. So technology is very good at creating jobs, but also changing existing job. It's very good at running data, analyzing set of numbers and data and elements, and is very good at helping with research. It's done a lot of good things with healthcare, etc. So it's a lot of new and fast-paced, and it's about productivity and efficiency and getting things much better and much quicker. And then there's the fun side as well. Clearly, it provides entertainment and some, you know, the quality of the entertainment depends, but it's obviously changing a lot. So that's very good. Technology is very good at doing a lot of things. So technology is the big, big term, but obviously we started touching on a bit of different elements. So first came the computers. So computers were already those big calculating machine and trying to do elements that much quicker than humans. And then the internet was a game changer. Um, and then mobile um, became a thing. And the power of the mobile device and the mobile connections combined with the internet, that's a massive, a very, very powerful tool. And so if we look at our mobile phones, so the more modern one, not the brick that I showed earlier, but the mobile phone that most of us have in the palm of our hand, we look at that, that's actually now much more powerful than the computers that send people on the moon, the NASA superpower, the computers of NASA of years back when they sent somebody to the moon. Now your mobile has more processing power than that computer did. So again, in a short space of time, so only a few decades, the the computer the computing power has increased very, very drastically. So computers and mobile, so the computer and internet and all of that on the go is really a different form of technology. And now we add the social media and the speed of communication and information sharing. That is really what the landscape that we know now, that you guys use every day. And added to that, we're now seeing AI. So AI is really a combination of all of those elements, and it's learning from all of those elements. So it's basically a supercomputer, but learning from all the elements of the other piece of the technology. But really, AI is not that new. AI is actually quite old. So this was the first prediction machine. So that's what AI does. AI predict what can happen by learning from other elements and learning from a lot of data. So AI eats up data for breakfast, and then it analyzes all of this and it predicts what can happen. So this is, so again, AI is quite old, but obviously it's getting a bit more popular now because it's more freely available. It's on your phone, and there's a lot of things that people can do with AI now that we're a bit worried about. We're not sure if it's the right thing to do or not. There's a lot of fake elements happening. So really some people are starting to worry, but AI is here, and AI has been here for a while. So what does it look like today, and what's the use of it? So AI is really it's giving a machine a supercharged brain and teaching that machine as much as possible in terms of the technology, data, and how to solve problems. So once the supercharged machine learns all of those elements, then it's able to digest everything and then give possible solution to solve different type of problems. So um, so this is an example of an AI, a super machine. So that's the Met Office, so the weather forecast. So that's the Cray supercomputer, and this computer does things in a second that I don't have actually understand the number. It 14,000 trillion calculation per second. So in a second, it does 14,000 trillion calculations. So that's super, super speed and super fast. So that machine learns everything from the weather that has happened in the past and that's happening now across the world and predicts what might happen, including then giving us yellow and red alerts because a storm is coming, as we all went through last week. Hope you guys are all okay. So this is what it does. So this is very, very powerful and much more efficient than what um, human brains could do, and much, much quicker. But obviously AI is also, in some people's house and kitchen, and so that's, your smart speaker, that's your social media, that's your smart TV, that's advising you what to watch next because they've learned from what you watched before and what you enjoyed before and how much time you spend scrolling and watching those ads or those TV programs, and then they predict and send you suggestions. It's the same for music players. It's the same for um, online shopping. They start knowing your habits and knowing your preference and your interest, then they'll send you more ideas and more things to try and more things to buy. Same for video games, same for chat box, all of that, learning from other people's questions and returning answers as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So what does that mean for jobs? What does that mean for future jobs? So it means that a lot of the more simple roles could actually be done by computers or by AI in a more efficient way and more in quicker way. So that means that some easier and simpler roles might become obsolete, or there'll be less of them. But there's much more opportunities as well. So some of the roles that we could see decrease in the future, it could be maybe receptionist jobs, like answering the phones, or customer service. So if somebody has a question, then the chatbot can answer, because again, maybe a lot of those questions are common questions, so the answers are common as well. So that can give the answer to the customer very quickly. But there's more. So when I was doing my research, I got excited. There's more, cooler jobs that could be actually efficiently done by computers. So this one is a self-driving car. So maybe taxis of the futures might be self-driving cars, so there'd be less of taxi jobs. There might be less delivery drivers because the drones technology and the AI and predictive deliveries could well be more prominent. It's happening already. They're testing both the cars and the delivery, but it could be more popular and it could become more often that we could see those. But there's one that you probably saw already, and it's across several shops in Ireland, where you go and you do your own checkout. So those roles obviously are currently decreasing if people are able to do their own checkout. And it's all about efficiency and speed and better customer experience. But this machine understands what you're scanning, your face when you're scanning it, and what the weight is supposed to be because it was taught. That machine didn't wake up in the morning and say, well, now I know what a pair of jeans actually weighs and how much it should cost. So obviously there's people and humans in the background who are entering and feeding all those um, data and all those explanation to the computer, so then the computer understands and can do a repetitive task easily and maybe quicker than we could. So those are there already, and then you scan your card, you scan your tickets to come out and recognizes your face when you were buying your items and when you're actually exiting the checkout area. So that's happening already. So that could be the type of impact in jobs. So maybe more repetitive and easier roles could be decreasing. But as I said, computer is only as good as what they know. So they're only as good as what they are taught, and they're only as good as what we tell them to do. So computers are not good at being humans. So computers are only computers. Really, AI is a tool for us. So it's not about AI being an agent and a machine on their own. AI is a tool for humans to do better and faster um, work and development and all of this. So really, AI complements us, and this is what we need to focus on. And this is where the jobs of the future will be, is making sure that AI is useful to us, and that's for us to decide how it is going uh, to work. AI, computers and AI, they are prediction machines. They predict because they learn from the data. So they're not good at understanding the complexity of human behavior, of human interactions, and they struggle with unpredictable scenarios, and humans are often unpredictable. So there's some lines that computers can't get yet. So maybe we will be better at teaching them those elements, but there's still some complexity that obviously we would be better at delivering. So looking at the skills for the future. So those future roles, so we understand the change in the job market and the type of roles that might be coming up or disappearing a little bit. But the skills that humans have, that humans need, will always be constant. So critical skills. Is critical thinking is a skill that a computer can't just out of nowhere again wake up in the morning and decide to think for themselves. We're trying to teach them, but critical thinking is about you knowing everything that you know, look at something, analyze the data, understand and interpret. So really decide what you want to do with the information. So let's have a little game, a little exercise. So using your critical thinking, let's guess, is this picture a real picture or is it a fake? So you might have seen this picture before. That's There's a lot of it out in on the internet. So obviously this one is a fake. It's a very pretty picture, but this waitress has feet for hands, so that's maybe a little tricky to do her job. But then if we go for this picture now, so using our critical thinking and analyzing, using what we know of a human body, um, is this a real picture or is it AI fake? Well, it is a fake because that hand there seems to have 6 fingers. Um, could happen, but 6 fingers and no thumb. But really, that person on the left must have a very sore neck because AI doesn't really understand that the human body, the neck can't turn that far. And there's loads of pictures there, so you can go and see for yourself and have fun. The third picture, very similar, looks straightforward, but the top arm of the person with the green jumper seems to have too many elbows or too many shoulders. That really doesn't feel right. So critical thinking is you know how to use your brain and you know how um, to analyze if it's right or not. And it's for you then to decide how to trust the information that you're getting, who to trust, where do you look for the source, understanding where it comes from, because those people we don't know, but if they were celebrities, then you could make up loads of stories. So really, there's a lot of things happening, and critical thinking will be, is it true or fake? But also it's like, is it the right thing to do? Should we be doing this? And as technology evolve, those skills will be needed for future roles, and a lot of regulation and laws and all of this will be needing people to be looking at the technology and how it evolves and put rules and regulations and policies around it. Other skills like ethical knowledge. So that's what I said. So ethical is it the right thing to do or not, and the legal side of things. Other skills, stay curious. So again, computers can't be creative and imagine something unless they're prompted or unless they were taught. So curiosity is very important. This is where the future roles will be. Creativity, somebody who creates something new. The creation of the new technology that we don't know, the creation of your new jobs, that will come from people as well. So curiosity, continuous learning, having that energy to go beyond and kind of like look for new things to learn or look for new things um, to seek new excitement and try new things and be an entrepreneur and not scared and be creative and innovation. All of these elements, that's really what the future roles will need. And that's the advantage against the computers and the AI. And AI and computers will help you with all of this because it's easier for me to try and make an AI picture than take this one with the blurred face. So really curiosity, creativity, innovation. Technology will be there as a tool to help, but it's really skills for you to practice and develop as you go. And again, it will change. Everything will change. Technology will change. The landscape that we know now will change. So be adaptable and be flexible and be brave to try new things. And if it doesn't work, well, then at least you've learned and you know how to do something differently or know how to do something and know how it doesn't work and try something else so to make it work. So really those skills will always be at the forefront. Um, and again, other skills, communication, collaboration, all the elements that are human related, all the elements that are emotional driven, emotional intelligence, well-being, mental health, all of those elements are very intricate. They're very interaction led. So computers won't get it unless we obviously teach them, but these skills are always, always needed. Even if you go into a tech career, those skills are needed. So communication, collaboration, leading, leadership, entrepreneurial, project management, and really all the emotion side of things. This is the skills that really you have already, and you are you're working on them and you're learning them. But the more you practice, and the more you become strong and confident in them. Obviously, understand the technology, as we were saying. Be flexible, because everything will change and it changes constantly. So understand the technology. Don't be scared of the technology. I've worked in tech in two big tech companies for almost 20 years. I'm not an engineer and I can't code, but I'm not scared of the technology. And I know what I don't know, but I'm curious to go and understand and figure things out. So embrace it, try it, and be curious. Again, be curious and understand it, and influence the right usage. So the technology is there, but you have the power to decide how we're going to use it, how it's gonna be again used for the right side of things, rather than the fake and the wrong element. And go ahead, invent the next big things. Like, I can't tell you what the roles will be in the future, but with all those skills and that, brave and courageous and curiosity, you guys, your generation, will absolutely create the new technology that we have not dreamt of yet. So go ahead, go create. That's it from me, Caroline.
Oh, thank you, Helena. Thank you so much. I'm very conscious of time. So I do have two questions I might put to you, if that's all right.
Sure.
One is, I suppose you went through some of the jobs that you think will be less relevant with the growth of AI, but what jobs do you think will be more popular with the growth of AI?
I think some technology roles would be, definitely good to invest in. So, AI engineer, all the technology, coding, and all of this. But even on the non-tech side of things, all the elements, as we said, that will touch on the regulation, how to apply, and how to make sure that it's done the right way for people to use with the ethic and the legal and the policy makers. So there's a lot of growth to be seen in both technology and non-technology roles.
Oh, thank you. And my final question then that's come in through the chat is to say, look, if someone's good at IT, do they really, like, is that not enough? Do they still need leadership and communication, or actually being good at IT and being able to code and all the rest of it, will that just be enough?
Um, it's it's good, obviously, but if you're very, very good, if you're an expert in a niche area, but then you can't explain it for the people to follow you, give you the budget, help you with the process, um, it's not going to be successful as if you can have all those skills. So as we were looking at talking about the policy and the doing the right thing, a coding line on its own can't do all of that. But the person who codes that line and said, well, the aim for this is that the risks are here, so we need to make sure of those elements. So if you can explain this and get people either to help you on the project, or and we're talking about, yes, leadership, but communication, collaboration, time management, and all those skills that sometimes are called soft skills, that really is helpful across any type of roles, including, yes, the technical and the IT ones.
Thanks, Helena. And we're bang on 2 o'clock now. So I'm going to say thank you very much. And I'm going to invite those who are with us today to join us again on February the 4th for using ChatGPT to revise effectively. Thank you, Helena. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.